Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network, a division of the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network. The following program broadcast is an original creation by the broadcast entity. Discussion within the following broadcast should be used for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice or consultation. Before considering application of any broadcast content in the following program, please consult your healthcare provider. If you feel you are having a medical emergency, please contact your local health services for immediate assistance. MS&Me Media and the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network do not guarantee or warrant the accuracy of information in the broadcast to follow. The Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network provisions broadcast services to program hosts. Information discussed in the broadcast does not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or goals of the network and are solely those of the show broadcast host. Should you wish to host a broadcast, please visit our website at msmemedia.com and submit a request to become a program host. We thank you for listening to the MS&Me Radio Network. Enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Dawn Melody. Thank you for joining me for the third episode of my series, Managing Self. Today I looked at my calendar and thought, actually today's August 31st, 2017, and almost 19 years ago today my MS symptoms onset. Almost 19 years ago. Let's see, also exactly on this day, exactly 12 years ago, was I was stepping on a national competitive bodybuilding stage for a show, and this was just months after having major knee surgery, and my surgeon guesstimated wrong that I wouldn't be competing anytime soon. And actually, I competed 7 months after surgery, so even much quicker than he ever thought. Again, looking at my calendar today, that's the most impact, or the date most impacted me when I realized that it was almost 12 years ago since Hurricane Katrina hit. Actually, just 12 years and a few days. And sadly, Hurricane Harvey has hit South Texas and West Louisiana. Everyone there is being affected, others as well. And I just thought, like, wow, because it's that event, Hurricane Katrina, where I had my most, I guess, the grandest of episodes, or relapses, shall I say, with my MS. That's 2005, so that would be actually after six and a half years after being diagnosed with MS. And at that time, I haven't worked my regular full-time job since then. Again, almost 12 years ago. So again, just looking at the calendar and just thinking about those things. And so I thought, wow, so much has changed. You know, talking about managing self, I'm like, oh, how am I affected? And I just thought about, let's say the first half or so, the first half of my MS journey. You know, I'm like going, okay, bad things happened, or let's say events, major events happen. I hate to say bad things because I think, you know, it may seem bad, but in the end, I like to look at the positive of everything. So on the first half of my MS journey, I'm thinking, wow, one of the major events was I lost my job. Not like I was fired, but I was on disability, and after, I believe, 6 months, Federal Medical Leave Act, FMLA, expires, and so therefore you're not protected. The company no longer has to afford you a paying job. So 6 months passed, so I lost my job. I said, wow, okay, I guess I really do have MS. Permanent disability, you know, all kind of terms that I never associated with myself. You know, I'm like, okay, well, what happened on the second half? Well, I said the second half, it's not so bad. I said I am receiving adequate disability benefits through different organizations. And so I was like, okay, it's not so bad. I don't have to get up in the morning. I don't have to go to work. So, you know, some people say, oh, wow, how cool is that? Sometimes on the flip side, I say, well, how cool is that I have MS? I don't think you want to switch with me. But anyway, as I was saying, first half, lost my job. Second half of my journey, adequate benefits taken care of. Am able to live a decent life. First half, my husband died. We're together about 17 years. He was there for me before diagnosis, and I was there for him after his cancer diagnosis until he passed. That was, people say they're sorry. I said, okay, well, it was a sad event. However, again, I'm looking at the good side of things. I said, well, what happened on the second half of my journey? I met a wonderful guy, and we got married just about a year and a half ago, and he is the most supportive. He's the most super guy ever. Totally supportive of me and my condition, and I couldn't ask for a better person. So again, I'm thankful, and I'm looking at the glass as half full. Let's see some other things here. Physical stuff. One thing I couldn't do before my diagnosis and during the first half of my diagnosis is run. Second half of my diagnosis, the second 10 years, let's say, I still can't run. Well, I guess that's not a bad thing. That's about the same, but at least I have a quote unquote an excuse of why don't I run. I see one more thing about the first half. Didn't seem to have time to do things that I like to do, or not ever, but it seemed like there wasn't 24 hours wasn't enough time in a day to get things done. And well, I'm still living with 24 hours today, and now I'm sure you all agree with me. There's still no time in the day to get everything done. Now it's kind of funny because I sleep so many hours, I can't get things done. Before it was just, I don't know, maybe because I went to work and I was at work for probably 9 hours a day or so, I couldn't get things done. Now it's because so much I can't get things done, and it seems like the day kind of passes me away. Again, I look at the glass as half full because I get to sleep so many hours. I know a lot of MSers don't get the privilege. They have difficulties with sleeping at night, so they don't get to sleep that many hours. Me, I sleep at the drop of, all I have to do is actually sit down, stop moving, close my eyes, and I'll be asleep. My husband said I can fall asleep probably on I don't know, jumping out of an airplane. I'd probably fall asleep on the way down because I think it was relaxing or something like that. So, sleeping. Sleeping many hours. My definition of many hours is more than 8. 8 is probably adequate, more than so for most people. However, myself, I think my happy number is 10 hours of sleep per night. I can do 9. 9 is doable, but it probably would mean I'm going to fall asleep or definitely need a nap or something of the sort during the day. Today, actually, I had a slow start. I think I woke up after about maybe 9.5 hours of sleep, and I thought that was enough. Don't know if it quite was, but I say I don't know because it seems like my start of the day was very slow. Took me a while to just kind of get out of bed, to go to the bathroom, come back into bed, sit down in bed. It took me a while to get dressed, to just to get my stuff to kind of make my way to get something to eat and get out of the door. My breakfast became brunch and then was a full-fledged lunch, and I actually ate breakfast at about 1:30, almost 1:30 or so it almost became an early dinner for me. But although I'm a slave to routines, particularly my own, I didn't pass go. I didn't collect $200, or I didn't pass go, and I didn't drive directly to the gym and do my workout. I realized that I hadn't taken a break in a while, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm tired, or moving so slowly, because I hadn't taken a break. I had worked out 10 days straight. And I'm like going, okay, usually you're a 5 to 6 day a week girl. And I said, you know what? My body's telling me to kind of slow down, take a mental break, take a physical break, just slow down. And I'm guilty of being one of the MSers who pushes and pushes and pushes until my body just literally shuts down and can't go anymore. So I took a break, and instead of driving to the gym, even though I was dressed and everything to go to the gym, had my water bottles packed, yay, going to the gym, I let the car drive me to the salon. And I said, okay, you know what? I hadn't taken care of me in a while. When I say taking care of me in a while, I mean just the relaxation of well, I don't want to say letting somebody do something for me, but just taking care of myself, just pampering myself, I guess somebody call it pampering yourself. Women, we like to get our hair done, our nails done, etc., etc. We're kind of pampering. Guys, you may want to go fishing, or I don't know, go to the sports bar, watch games and things like that. With MS, I know sometimes it's hard to engage in these activities that we enjoy, and we often put them aside. But I guess today I want to encourage everybody out there, just go out there and prioritize yourselves to have fun and do something that's relaxing to you, because I know particularly personally stress isn't our friend, and it can lead to an exacerbation, things of that nature. So I too have to remind myself to relax and have fun. So today I went and I got a mani and pedi, and it felt great not having to worry about anything for a while. Okay, so not worry about doing anything for a while. What does that mean? I guess for me it just means just that, not having to worry about I want to say responsibilities, or just doing anything, just relaxing and sitting back. That was my mindset when I was leaving the salon. I guess it changed when I left to get into the car, and I jump in the car, and well, I don't jump anywhere these days. I don't I can't even jog in place. So I, as quickly as I could, get into my car, crank the AC up or crank it down to about 60 degrees. Hopingly it'll get there. Drink some water. I grabbed one of those water bottles that I had prepared for my gym workout today. Had ice water, which was very, very refreshing. Kind of goes along with I'm always saying about, hey, Operation Hydration, because one thing MSers like myself, we need to make sure we're hydrated, and the warmer temperatures. Anyway, so I jump in my car, get cooled off or cooled down, and drink. Or I'm sorry, pardon me. I'm thinking, what can I do since I'm not going to the gym and I'm already out? It's like, oh well, just maybe you can go to the store. Maybe I can pick up some things for around the house. It was already ironically, my husband had already told me, don't sweat too much, baby. Don't work out too much at the gym. Don't sweat too much. Literally, don't sweat too much at the gym. That's what he told me. And I told him, I said, well, I'm not going to the gym today. But it was funny because I'm like, oh no, I'm about to start sweating. And I just went to the salon. That's how hot the temperatures are here in the Dallas area. So I elect to go to the store. I'm figuring, well, the store, the mall, they're cool places. I can just walk slowly and pick up some things, in there. And I head to the local small market. None of the major chains, just a small market to kind of run in and run out, just grab a couple items, and nothing. Well, I spoke with my husband. Well, I texted my husband. He said, leftovers are fine. And I'm like, we can do leftovers, or I can kind of whip up something else that we can eat. And I had planned on being there much longer than I was in the store, but I got in there and I realized quickly that, well, you know what, you're tired. I dropped a couple things on my way into the store, and I dropped at least 2 things inside the store while shopping, and those were indications to me that my body was tired and that I needed to take a break and just slow it down for a second. So I kept my shopping experience today short, about 2:30, no later than 2:30, and I was home by 3 o'clock. That's actually a perfect time for me. I generally, I guess if I get up later in the day, probably about 10 o'clock or so, my body's generally done at about 2 or 3 o'clock. So, I called it a day, and just decided to sit down. It's ironic. I'll just call it ironic because a quote unquote friend sent, I guess I don't want to say disgruntled, but disappointed message to me about Saturday, and he had a bowling event, and I didn't go, and I told him, it was raining, and he said, well, it's not raining on my side of town. Anyway, it was later in the afternoon. The weather was bad, and all of my true friends understand that I don't drive under such conditions when it's dark. I don't drive. I know my vision, I can see fine, but nighttime driving I avoid. If I have to, I can, but I'd rather not. Again, it's stressful. That stress, I don't need to have the stress of, oh no, it's dark outside and people are driving erratically. I just prefer not to drive at night or late in the heavy traffic conditions, because I avoid the stress that way. I know that's best for me. Anyway, kind of, well, I want to say disappointed with him because I thought he understood, but his statements show that he really doesn't understand me, and it just leads me to, like I said, I call this series Managing Self, and I'm going to put myself first as far as my health and well-being. No one else understands what I'm going through or how I feel.
I will build a great
at any given time. So I just kind of let it pass over me and say it is what it is. I often look at parallels, and I look at Saturday. That day I cut my day somewhat short, not really, because I did get some errands taken care of. I did go to the gym for an hour. I didn't want to walk, but I actually went to the gym. I had breakfast there because I was too, quote unquote, lazy to cook, or, well, let's not say lazy. I didn't want to use my energy to cook something Saturday morning. So I ate at the gym, the cafe there, and I went to the post office, got some errands taken care of, and then I came home and I relaxed, actually. Today, actually Saturday, so I came home, and like I said, it was raining. The weather wasn't very good, and actually for dinner, my husband said, why don't we just have leftovers? So we had leftovers, which was actually pretty adequate. It was very good. I had made red beans and rice and some cornbread, so we had that, and it was fine. Tonight, it's funny because I asked my husband, what would you like for dinner? And he said, we could just have leftovers. So kind of the same things happening today that happened on Saturday. Well, I'm calling my day, calling it quits for the day, and I'm home, and he said we can have leftovers, which is fine with me. So, like I said, micromanaging or managing yourself is kind of what I'm always thinking about, and I kind of encourage others to think about managing themselves equally. Don't be negatively affected by those who don't understand you. We're all unique, and our symptoms are unique, our journey's unique. So I always tell people to eliminate those toxins from their environment that are harmful to their well-being. So and surround yourselves, if you can, with people who are positive in life, who understand your conditions and what you're going through. I guess my number one fan or number one supporter, I'm going to give it to my husband. He, someone who doesn't expect me to do things just because, and understands when I can't do those things. An example actually happened. So I think it was last week actually. We were in the kitchen together. We were getting the dishes ready to set the table for for our dinner, and I reached into the cabinet to get a bowl, and well, I don't know why. Well, I know why. I have MS. Anyway, my hand locked up on me, and the bowl dropped and hit the countertop, and well, the countertop won because the bowl cracked in two. I stood there really disgusted, and I think I exhaled like, and my husband, he just hugged me from the back, and he kissed me, and he said, "Baby, it's just a bowl." And I was like, I know, but he could tell my frustration there, and I was like, yeah. Again, one of those things that reminded me that I do have MS, and I still have that where my hand like locks up on me along with like intentional tremor sometimes. But the thing is that he didn't get upset or go like you're breaking dishes or you just the coolest part I'd say is that he did understand, and I was taken aback that I shared the post on social media, and some responses were kind of sad. Some people said like their spouses would have like yelled at them or been like, "You're such a klutz," and if that happened to them in that situation, and I thought, wow, that's awful. To belittle someone because of something that happens because of circumstances that are beyond their control, that saddens me, and that's why I tell people, I said, don't try to micromanage me. I'm going to manage myself because only I know me. And again, I encourage everyone out there to do the same thing. Put yourself first all the time. Of course, let's just like a situation where you absolutely can't, but don't forget yourself. Don't forget to treat yourself. Today I treated myself to a manicure and a pedicure. I don't know, if you're stuck in the house every day or don't go out much, or maybe you're not driving, that might be a really good treat. It was a treat for me because I often fail to do that. But every now and then I do it because I'm like, oh, you know what? I deserve it. And, I want everybody out there to remember, I want everyone out there to remember they're all worth it. Just because you have MS and you have difficulties doing things, please find ways to enjoy life and recapture that joy that you may have lost before your diagnosis. Always manage yourself. Thanks. Managing self, again, I look at them as assets and liabilities. Managing those influences and people that are in your life that are positive, kind of looking toward those and gathering those up, and eliminating the negative influences in your life that are liabilities or that are toxins, or what we more commonly know as stress, which have negative impact on our multiple sclerosis. And as far as the doing, like I say, you don't have to do something all the time. Relaxing is probably just as important, if not more important, for us than doing things with MS. If it's stressful, we shouldn't probably be doing it anyway. One thing myself personally, is one thing I do a lot of, I guess, is exercise. And today, I said no exercise for me. Some people would have think, oh, well, you can go for an hour walk at least, or maybe just do some light lifting or what have you. But I recognize that to do nothing was in my best interest for the day. I said, okay, I'm going to manage myself, and that meant staying away from the physical exertion of exercising, or the tasks of getting there, getting started, and performing the exercises. So again, I manage myself by not exercising today. I recognize my limitations, and I acted upon those so that I'd be the best person that I could be today. Of course, I did try to go to the store and get some stuff taken care of domestically, but didn't really happen 100%. But I'm going to give myself credit for trying. One thing I consider that goes hand in hand with managing myself is I recognize that I tried. So I can't say that I didn't try. I tried to get some tasks done today, which were more than usual, but I didn't. So again, guys, be conscious to manage yourself and your activities that you do on a daily basis. Recognize that you try, and give yourself credit for that. Reward yourself and relax. It's very important. Relax. So hope you will join me next week. Thanks.